So it's
Marriage makes
the number 3.
Hashtag
Yeah.
GD
And me. Yes. So come on in the room. Let us talk a moment. Let us talk a while. Let us discuss some things this evening because we need to discuss them because some of you jacking your relationship up.
Is that Julia Child
Julia?
Or the old lady who talks about Dr.
Ruth?
Dr. Ruth.
Maybe a little hybrid. I mean, you can cook and talk sex at the same time. You do that really well.
Cooking. Hello, everybody.
I mean, it's like you talk about food, and I'm just like,
okay. Hello, everybody.
I never heard somebody can talk about food and it sound naughty. It's so crazy to me, but it is what it is.
No fault of my own.
I don't know about all that, but okay, yeah.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming in.
Yes.
We're Pastors Greg and Michelle, MarriageMakes3.com. We are pastors. We are
authors.
Veterans.
Okay.
Authors.
We are married.
Yes, right.
To each
Wonderfully married.
We got children.
Grandparents.
And grandchildren.
That's right. And we are your go-to couple.
For everything, all things, relationship. Hey there, God bless you, Pastor Homer. Bless you, man of God.
Friends, bless you, sir.
We do ask that you'd come on in with us tonight.
Okay.
And let us begin for the evening.
Julia Child.
That was Julia. Okay. Julia. You know, I wouldn't make a fool of you. All right. So come on in the room, invite someone, share this broadcast, and let's talk tonight. We want to talk about easy love. And you see that behind it says, yeah, right. Was that meant to be sarcastic? Yes, it was. Because I feel like sometimes, honey, that people think that once you fall in love with someone, that everything is just going to be pie in the sky.
And I think that may be part of the problem is that they're looking to fall into love.
Like they tripped and fell into it.
It was that easy once.
Yeah.
It was just like when they made that golden calf.
Yes.
We just put our gold into the fire and out came this golden calf. So we felt the right thing to do
was to worship it. So, you know, sometimes we do dumb stuff. Poppycock. That's popcorn or something. That's in your book. You mean 26 ways to become a trophy husband?
Yeah.
Okay,
I use that term.
I see you. I feel you. I ain't mad at you, sir.
First time I ever used that term.
Oh, in mixed
writing.
Company, in writing. Okay. There were some words that I always like, wow, I never saw that.
What is the origin of that?
Yes, absolutely.
Hello. Welcome.
The Lord bless. Hey, Payola, Pastor Homer is in here with us tonight. We're going to ask that if you are here, if you have not shared this yet, that you would go ahead and share it and let someone know that we're here. It's hashtag GD and me of Marriage Makes the number 3.com. We're here for you every Tuesday through Thursday between 9 and 9:30-ish Central Standard Time. We're here to help you to get your relationships on and poppin'. Hey, Nicole. Love you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. That's my cousin. And listen, I've got a little second cousin. And I saw pictures of her, honey, and I am completely blown away. She is 18. She's gorgeous. And I know she's smart as a whip.
And she was running around.
I know she was with plaits and stuff. But now I guess they don't. But you know what? This is what I say. Cousin, you can tell me if you agree with this. I say that they're getting older and we're getting cuter.
Come on.
It is what it is. They're getting older, but we're getting cuter. And so it's all good. It's all good. All right. So I wanted to ask you, honey, I know you probably know all the words because you know all the words to all the songs that were ever written of all time.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter the genre. It doesn't matter.
Oh my goodness, honey, don't lift me any higher. Love lift us up where we belong.
Okay, not that one.
Not that one. Okay.
But there's this one song that we used to sing back in the day. Loving you is easy.
Easy 'cause you're beautiful. Na 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 na. Yeah,
right.
That was Minnie Riperton.
See what I tell y'all.
She had the little baby breath
in her hair.
Baby breath fern. That's right.
Do y'all see what I'm talking about?
Flowers.
This is what I'm talking about.
Cover.
Yeah, you see, you remember everything about music. And it's so crazy sometimes. I'm like, I'm just singing and la la la, and he be messing me up because I know the words that I'm singing. And then he has to, interrupt me talking about, honey, that's not the words. It goes like this. I don't care how it goes. I just rewrote the song. It's my song now. If I'm singing it, it's my song, right? But that's just one of the things. He did Minnie Riperton. I looked it up because I didn't know who wrote it. Amen. I didn't know, but I knew he would, and so that's why I didn't even tell him that that's what I was going to come from tonight.
Well, back in the day, Pastor Homer, back in the day, all we had was one radio, and at nighttime, back in the country, you couldn't get a good signal, so once you found a station that worked, you yanked the knob off to keep somebody from changing it. Now I'm just.
You are a man. You sound like you over there with Barney Fife.
But it's true. I did grow up with radio.
With radio. With radio. Fireside chats and stuff. How old? Okay, no.
Well, I don't ever call him Teddy Roosevelt or any of those guys. So.
All right, so listen, let's get started here because we don't want to keep y'all all night. So here are the words, and he probably knows them all, but I'm going to read some of these to you because it's very pertinent. Easy love, yeah, right. There's a bit of sarcasm in there because we have to look at things with a little bit of salt. We have to, add a grain of salt to it. We have to take medicine with a little sugar because sometimes, it doesn't taste the greatest.
That's true.
But it's necessary, and it's going to help us in the end.
Yeah.
Depending on which end, we don't know, because it can come up or it can go the other way. We're not sure. Hey, King Tax
start talking about medicine, and in the end, castor oil, those kinds of things. X-Lax.
It comes to mind.
But we'll leave those alone.
Okay. We won't mess with the X-Lax and that kind of stuff tonight. But what I want to do, my thing just, no. I'll pull it right back up. Say something to the people while I pull it back up.
Did you know, King's Tax Service, Pastor Homer, did you know that you no longer have to drink the castor oil? Put it in a teaspoon and give it to them for it to work.
Listen.
Did you all know that? And that makes me sick now that I think of all the castor oil doses of that, when all they had to do was rub it on my tummy, on my forehead, or my belly. That's all they had to do was just rub a little bit on your stomach. And it would work.
Listen, if I would have known these things, but they just gave it to us straight with no chaser.
Straight, well.
No chaser.
A spoonful of sugar.
A spoon? They gave y'all sugar? They had sugar?
A little bit of sugar.
We had sugar cane.
Oh, that's right.
So we were in the island, so we got some sugar cane. Okay, so here are the words of the song. Loving you is easy because you're beautiful. Making love with you is all I want to do. Loving you is more than just a dream come true, and everything that I do is out of loving you. Oh, baby. You got to throw some cars in there. Baby. Just a little bit. No one else can make me feel the colors that you bring. Stay with me while we grow old, and we will live each day in the springtime. 'Cause loving you has made my life so beautiful. And every day of my life is filled with loving you. La, 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 la. And they actually have that here. La, 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 la. Yeah, me and my cousin stood in line to take the castor oil. I know of this. This is so very true. So when we're dealing with this, we're talking tonight about easy love. Yeah, right. Now, Minnie, she's like, all I want to do is make love to you. Did you all realize that making love, having sexual intercourse with your spouse is only like maybe 10, 15 minutes total? That's before, during, and after. Did you realize that you're not going to spend your whole relationship, your whole marriage, having sexual relations, that it's not all love and roses? You're going to have to come home one day from the wedding and you're going to have to do laundry.
Go to work. You have to roll up your sleeves.
There's going to be some bills. There's going to be a toilet bowl that might need plunging.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's got to take out the trash, right? There are all of these things. Do the lawn.
Some money.
Yo, there's a lot of stuff that has to go on.
That's right.
And so what we have.
And I think another thing that has made us crazy, or made us really have a misunderstanding of this whole thing, is that we see people fall and into each other's arms, genitals, and the steams up the television because they can sell soap products.
True. We
watch the love stories on television, and we equate all of them to that 1 hour segment. They got all of that done in an hour.
Or the fairy tale. Or the fairy tale.
Absolutely. Excuse me. So sorry.
Fairy tales. You know, you have the princess, and she's got the cute dress, or it may have been that she didn't have the dress, and then she got the dress because the mice and the pumpkins, and you know, all this stuff.
And they lived happily ever after.
Exactly. But we as individuals, we have to do some work, y'all.
Absolutely.
Love for humans is a commitment. You have to decide that this is who I want to be. And so I wanted to tell you guys about a couple of things, and I'm just going to go, I think, with 3, because we're trying to get us down to a little bit less time that we're in here keeping you guys. And we certainly appreciate you all coming in and hanging out with us when you do. We really do. So when we're dealing with this, we have to know that there's some things that has to be done in order for us to have this commitment called love. This thing that even when we don't feel like it, because if you're honest, you will realize that you don't always feel like you're in love. You don't always feel like, oh, I just want to fall into his arms. You don't always feel like, oh, she's just the greatest thing that I ever seen in my whole entire life. You got to come on and let's tell the truth and shame the devil. That sometimes this person that you are married to, that you're in a relationship with, get on your last nerve. Our son, spiritual son Daniel says every one of the last nerves that I had. Every one of my nerves, every single one, not just the last one, but every one up until the last one. And so when we're in a place where we're saying that we want to love each other, be with each other, we have to know that love is not always going to be easy.
That's right.
Okay. Sometimes you're going to have to love someone when they're sick. You're going to have to love someone when they may be having some mental or some health issues. You're going to have to love someone when they're frustrated, when they've got anger issues that they're dealing with, when their parents are sick.
When they're not so loving.
Exactly.
Or
lovely. Right. Imagine you just have you ever seen these women? I'm not going to say too much because I'm one of them. Have you ever seen women that go in for a procedure, or they go in to have a baby, and the camera is rolling, the action, all of that, and for some reason their hair is perfectly in place, they've got makeup on, and you're like, wait a minute, how do you look so good, right? Well, not every woman has that in them, right? And so you have to know that there's going to be those times when you're going to come home and you may see your wife with a bonnet on her head and spit up on her shirt because she has just fed, cleaned, and burped your baby. Right? And if that indeed is the case, you're going to have to look past this thing that's happening right now in front of you and realize that you didn't fall in love with this person's persona. Now you start there because, you know, we do the dating funnel, and the first part of the funnel is that physicality. Is anybody y'all getting this? Physicality, because the first thing you see from somebody is what they look like.
That's right.
Unless you are vision impaired. And then you still have a way to feel what they look like. Because most people, once they get to know you, they want to touch you so that they can kind of get a feel for what you look like in their mind, right? And so even when I'm not feeling my best, even when he needs a haircut, he looks like my son, like a woolen sheep. It's as though, like, dude, can you go get your hair cut? I can't hardly find your face in all of that hair, right? And those are some times when, you know, you may not have that. What's that song? You've lost the love and feeling. Yes, you can lose the loving feeling, but you can rekindle the fire.
That's right.
Amen.
Right.
Some people just don't think like the generation before us did. And it's true. You're right. Who is that? Who said that? You all, please let us know your name when you come in, because we're not seeing your names and things on here. Okay.
And do consider joining us on the HAPS broadcast studio. Join us on HAPS. And that way we'll populate, show us your beautiful picture, and we'll be able to see you when we come in. We are on HAPS. We are on HAPS.
Yes.
There's some really good things about this platform. If you have not migrated fully yet or gotten over the fact that Periscope
Paola. Okay, thank you, darling. Thank you. Were you the one that said some people just don't think like the generation before us did? I don't know if that was you or not, but whoever said that, you're so right. I was telling somebody today that we are in a fast-paced society. We are social media savvy. We're swiping left. We're swiping. I don't like that one. Nope. Next. We want it now. We're standing. Apostle Corey said something. It was him. Apostle Corey said something during conference. He said that people now, they stand in front of the microwave as supposed to cook in 3 minutes, telling the microwave to hurry up.
Yeah.
Okay. Even as fast as a microwave will cook our food, we're still at that place where things that are slow, things that are deliberate are not as accessible. They're not as desirable as it used to be. And so we have to come back to that place, like Paola was saying, how the generation before us did. Nothing was quick. Hey, team, shout out. You have to know that a good roast, a nice, juicy, succulent roast with potatoes and carrots, you got to put that thing in a Dutch oven. You got to put it in the oven. You got to let it cook and simmer and marinate overnight. And that baby will come out and you be like, yes, God.
Yeah.
Can I get some cornbread in the building? Right? And so with our relationships, it's the same thing. We've got to do things a little bit better, a little bit different. So let me see the number ones, you guys. We're just going to do 3 of them tonight, and then we'll get out your hair. 3 things that you should be doing when you're talking about loving your mate. How do I do this? And don't forget, if you have not yet gone over to bit.ly/MM3 links, you will be able to go tonight. You will find there 10 ways to love your spouse every day. 10 different things that you can do every day to love that person.
Free.
Yes.
And if you haven't shared the broadcast, share the broadcast right now. Would you do that for us? Shirley, love you. Al, what's up?
And don't forget, we also have our first book. It is called 7 Keys to Better Sex in Your Marriage. You can find it at marriagemakes3.com, or you can check it out at the link in the title. All right. So want you to know that one thing that we need to learn, that if we're going to have these principles in our relationship, there's some that we have to sit down and say, okay, I am deliberately going to do this, or I'm deliberately going to say this. Okay. Now, I'm going to say that number 1, love you too. Number 1, we have to learn to recognize each other's needs. All right.
Amen.
Recognizing each other's needs. I know you know what your needs are, and I know you probably feel like my needs ain't being met. Why I want to do what he wants? Well, because there's something called reciprocity. It's a law. Right?
What goes around
comes around. And it's not that, that whole, one of them people, it's something with a K they call it, but we don't believe in that because we're believers. And we know that the Bible is right and somebody's wrong. And here it is. It's called sowing and reaping.
Wow.
Right?
You reap what you
sow. So if I'm going to want you, if I want you to treat me and recognize my needs, then what I need to do is start to recognize your needs.
Wow. And Jesus said, he said, do unto others even as you would have them do unto you.
Yes.
And so in our relationship should be the very first place we exercise that principle.
Yes.
In fact, one of the things that we're seeing is that a lot of people enter into a relationship selfish.
Okay.
Something selfish. You're thinking only about you.
Only you.
What concerns you, me and mine. And you're not thinking about anybody else.
It's true.
So what happens is that you end up trying to find yourself in your relationship.
Oh my goodness.
You know, I need to find out who I am. You know,
why don't you
5
know?
years in, you're 10
And you
years
still
in,
don't know.
and you're supposed to know that before you
got into it.
And, so
and a lot of people don't. And that
sad.
is it's not a problem.
Yeah,
but we can work with that, right? But you have to
At
acknowledge,
least recognize that
yes,
that's where you are.
Exactly.
And let the person know. So, you know, you going in 5 years or 6 years, and all of a sudden your head is spinning around at different times, and this person is, you know, the other half is like in shock. They don't,
oh my goodness, what is happening?
Like
yeah.
So you have to know yourself going in.
It's
and then,
true.
But I find, and this is me, is that when you are busy focusing on the other person's need, sometimes you're not as aware of your own. I think most of the time we are. We're in touch with ours. But the focus should not be on me.
Always.
But I need to be focused
on
about
us.
you.
Yes.
On us.
On us. But me focusing in on you benefits us.
Come on. That's exactly.
And that's how that is supposed to work. And the thing is that we all come into this and we're like, well, what am I going to get out of it? Because, you know, it is a valid question.
What have you done for me lately?
Hey.
See.
Ooh, yeah. And this is true. Yeah. You're right. Because there are those people that are emotionally unavailable. And so you're putting in, and you don't seem to be able to get anything out. It's like a slot machine.
Well, I did this and I did that. Right. But what have you done lately?
That part.
You know.
So.
And it should not be a one-sided thing.
One and
we
done.
both need to be.
Yes. It goes from both. Comes from both
sowing
sides.
And repeat.
Yes. All right. So let me see the number 2, y'all. Number two. Y'all are seeming to be a little low energy for me tonight. I don't know what's going on.
Where you at, folks?
What is happening?
I think there's some people missing.
There's a lot of y'all missing.
Kimmy, Andrew, where y'all? You're taking a nap. Danielle.
Okay.
Who else? Courtney.
They must be eating something.
Yeah.
Or you know what? They might be coming in late from Bible school. Maybe they're coming in late from Bible school. I don't know.
Where y'all at?
Hey, you know what? If they miss it, that's on them. We gonna get all the pie.
This church.
Right? We gonna get all the pie. Thank you for the 2s you got. So here's number 2. After we talk about recognizing each other's needs, one thing we have to learn is how not to be offended.
Oh my goodness.
Bruh.
Love that.
We can be so offended by we are living in I think if we were to put a timestamp on different years, like what's the 10 years in 10-year increments, I think that these last 10 years is in the making for the decade of offense.
Wow. That's
the
powerful.
Decade of offense. I really believe that because we're offended by every single solitary little thing. And then people cancel you out.
You breathe too loud. I'm offended. You came in the room, didn't speak. Now you saw them come in and you didn't speak.
You didn't either. But you know that some of that also is some child not childish.
And we shouldn't blame it on children.
No, some of that is tradition. Because you know where we come from, if you go into a room and other people are already in the room, you're supposed to say hello because you're the newest person in the room. And so I get that. I get that totally. But when we're talking about relationship, we're talking about my husband and my wife. It doesn't matter who came into the room first. Yeah. We shouldn't be taking offense over every little thing.
Yeah.
And I know that sometimes your nerves are bad. Sometimes you've dealt with stuff all day long at work. You're dealing with kids. You're dealing with parents. You're just dealing with stuff. And so when the other person is around you, now everything that could have been said that was wrong is now available and open. And so now, you know how they talk about friendly fire?
Yes.
That sometimes it's the people closest to you that have the avenue to hurt you the most.
That's true.
We know where the buttons are, and we know how to push every single one of them. We know how to push them, when to push them, the intensity of the push, and all of that. And so if we're going to be in a relationship where, you know, this easy love stuff, we got to remember that that's a myth. That isn't. And I'm not saying that it's hard to love someone. I'm saying that some people think that, oh, once we get married, everything's just gonna be wonderful, and you know, flowers and candy and cotton and clouds and birds are gonna be singing and all of these things. And that's just so unrealistic. And for some of us, we have gone into this thing thinking that it was going to be that way, and we are so disappointed now.
True.
We're like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? Why in the world was I drunk this whole relationship? And so now I have to deal with you. You done dropped your drawers everywhere. It's right there. The basket is right here. Why can't you put your drawers in the basket? What you all know what we're talking about. Every time I look up, you've got lingerie all over the bathroom.
Come on.
It's all on the banister, on the chandelier. It's all on the shower rod. You got your lingerie everywhere, right? Remember what Minnie was saying? Loving you is easy because you're beautiful, and all I want to do is what? Make love to you. Listen. What happened when they don't feel like it, when they too tired, when they're saying, you know what, my stomach hurts, my back hurts. What about when they're tired? What about when the kids have kept them up all night? What about if they're not feeling well? What about if it's that time of the month? What about, I mean, there are so many different reasons why you can't just be making love. It's like us, honey, pastoring. Some people, it cracks me up. Some people think that all we do is preach. I still haven't posted my post. I got to do that.
Open your mouth.
Some people think all you do is preach. You just get up there for 30 to 45 minutes on Sunday. You only work one day a week.
You get paid for it? Most of the time, not.
And it's so funny. You only work one day a week. Are you out of your mind? And the same way when you're talking about sex and marriage. Some people think that you just be having sex all day. Oh, we're married now, so we can legally have sex without guilt and condemnation. But there's more stuff to do than that.
That's true.
Absolutely. Okay, and we're not saying not to do that. But, you know, sometimes we have couples that come in, and it is so funny when we do our SYMBIS. And if you need premarital counseling, do know that we do online premarital counseling. Check the link in the bio, and we'll be glad to get you started. And so we're SYMBIS certified. That's saving your marriage before it starts. And with the SYMBIS, one of the things that they ask and they kind of match up is when it comes to sexual relationship, how many times per week do you believe that you all will be having sex? And for the most part, there's usually a woman that's saying 2 or 3 times a week. And then there's a dude, and it's the same couple where the dude is saying like 2 times a day. And you're looking at them like, this is going to be hilarious. 2 to 3 times a week versus 2 times per day. Do you know what kind of disparity there is with that? And so what happens when she's not up to two times a day?
And so that's the important part of the reason why it's important that we find out some things about each other beforehand.
Yes, Lord.
You know,
yes, Lord.
Because a person, you know, while the romance is going on, you don't have any kids, you don't have any bills together, you don't have a mortgage together. So you have a lot of time and you have a lot of energy. So it's important that you know whether or not those expectations are reasonable.
Right.
And premarital counseling is one of the places where you find out, and you kind of work out some of your expectation. Is this reasonable?
Is it reasonable? And that's the whole thing. Some of us, we come into it with unreasonable expectations.
Yes.
We expect, some women expect that man to do all the work, all the money that comes in. Even if they make money, all of the money that he makes goes towards the house, the bills, the car note, the electric, the water, all of that. While her money, she can just go shopping with.
Yeah.
That's unrealistic.
Unreasonable.
And then and I'm not saying that it can't happen, because it can. It depends on what type of job or what kind of resources that you came into the relationship with. But some folk, if he works at let's say the laundromat, or he works at the grocery store, and he is not in a management position just yet, it's going to be hard for him to make you live.
That you're just gonna have to get another job. So now, if that's your response to that, laundromat, what kind of job is that?
It's a job.
Don't kill the goose just yet.
Right.
Make sure that your expectations are reasonable.
Yeah, that part.
Do you really think about what's coming out of your mouth? Sometimes we can doom a relationship before it starts.
It's true.
Because everything that we think just comes out. We have no filter.
Oh my God.
So
we gotta be careful.
And if you kill a person's motivation for trying to woo you and trying to win your heart, obviously things are going to improve. We get a much greater benefit from working together and loving together and working together in our relationship. I'm going to do better.
Come on.
With you at my side or in my heart, with you in my life, I'm going to do better. There's no way out of it.
You got to.
Right? And you're going to do better. We both go up. We both get a come up. Come on. See?
Amen.
So don't let your mouth, your expectations that there's this, I don't know why I keep seeing this cartoon. It's a cartoon. It's a little comic strip that they're just leaving the wedding. You can see people in the background. They've got rice and they're throwing birdseed and rice, and they're telling them bye-bye. They're getting into their wedding chariot, getting into the vehicle. And she says to him, I guess he's thinking honeymoon, but she says to him, keep in mind that the contents, the options on this menu may have changed since the ceremony. So he's thinking we're on our way to our honeymoon. Wow, we're living happily ever after. We're really going to be blessed. We're really going somewhere.
Lord.
And she's thinking the options on the menu
has changed.
Has changed.
The stuff that you thought you was going to get, it might not be there no more.
And the same thing it took to get them hooked.
Right, exactly.
Take the same
exactly.
thing.
And that's a problem. Some people, once they do get married, they feel like they don't have to do anything else.
It's that thing that they have at the stores when they advertise one thing, and you go there and we don't have that. We have this. It costs a little more.
Switch.
It's called bait and switch. It's not a good practice for business.
And it's definitely not one for a relationship.
Come on. Oh, man. Now, we just gave you a whole...
That's exactly right.
Oh, man. We gave you everything right there. If you don't get something from that.
Amen. Amen. All right. So here's number 3, and we're going to let y'all go. Number 3 is this. What we have to learn is that we're going to have to share ourselves openly.
Wow.
And that's emotionally and spiritually. Share your thoughts, share your feelings. We sometimes believe that our spouses, that our significant other, that they can read our minds. Like they should know. And really, sometimes they should know, but they don't know.
Yes.
And it's the funniest thing, because you feel like if somebody has lived with you for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, that they just know. But sometimes they really just don't know. And some things about us change as we grow and as we age. So the thing that may have bothered you back then may not bother you now. It might be a whole nother thing that's bothering you.
That's true.
And so you're going to have to begin to open your mouth and say, listen, honey, this is really getting on my nerves, or this is affecting me me in this way or that way or whatever, so that that other person will know, okay, I need to support them. And one way that I can do that is by not doing this.
Yes.
Oh, y'all get that? Because sometimes what we do is we take people for granted because we've been together so long. Right?
Wow.
Some of you been dating the same person for 5 years and 10 years, and you just think you know everything. And then you get married and you live in the same house. And now all of a sudden you're like, whoa, wait, just one cotton picking minute. I didn't know you did that, because you didn't live with them. Now that you're there, where it's I can't say 24/7 because you got to go to work, got to go to school, whatever.
Yeah.
But on the other times, y'all are together. And so now you're being able to see the nitty gritty. Now you're seeing all the ins and the outs. Now you're seeing all the good and the bad, the flaws and the perfection. And you have to learn that there's a balance, and you're going to have to use them all in order to be together with this person. If you want it to work, your easy love ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah. And what we can say to you, look, it can work.
If you work,
it can work. You know, you're not, a lot of people, they get so frustrated when they find that this is not easy, that there is work involved in this.
True.
But it's with any other relationship. If you go into your job, you have to kind of get used to your boss.
That's right.
If a new person
right.
comes in on your team, it changes the entire dynamics of your work relationship with your boss and everybody else. You in group development, there is a storm, a form, a process, a perform, and a norm. Okay. And every time the dynamics of the team changes, you go back through those processes.
Say it
and
again.
It's the same work with your relationship. There is a storm when you're initially coming together. There is a jockeying for position. Who's going to do what? We're trying to figure out who's going to do what. So it's a stormy process. Who's going to take the lead? And so that is a storm. We get to a place where there's a storm, and then there is a form. We finally work out the little details, and so we've decided who's going to do what. We have a forming process, and so it's still some feeling each other out, but we gradually begin to perform as a team. The job begins to get going again, and then what happens is that we reach a normalcy. And guess what happens? Somebody else comes in. Somebody gets fired. Somebody loses their job. And we go right back to that same process.
Or in a marriage, you have a child.
You have a child.
Or you have a job change. Or you have a parent that needs to be cared for. Loss
of a job, loss of income. Sometimes even a greater income, an increase in income.
All of these things change the dynamics in your relationship. Oh my goodness.
Change the dynamics. So you need to know that they're a normal part of life.
That's it.
And you have to work through them. I like what Paola said.
What's that?
When we made mention that everybody is a low energy, and she's wasn't really the one that we were speaking of. The others who are part of the audience who are not saying anything. But she says that she had been sorry. I've been working all day, and Paola has been saying something all evening. So she's been contributing. So really this was not for her.
It wasn't even
But she felt, because I'm part of the team, I'm part of the audience, I need to contribute.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Paola.
And that's how we do things.
That's right.
So we certainly love that when we come together, even in the perfect storm, even when stuff isn't the way that we thought it was going to be, that we can still work through it and work together. And now we can get in here and know that this relationship, because I value it, because I have made a commitment, because I have determined this is where I am, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to be, that I'm going to do all that I can, all that's in my power, so that we can have a long-term, loving, happy relationship. And so that's why we did that 10 ways to have 10 things that happy couples do every day.
Mm-hmm.
Those were some 10 things that we found in our relationship that every day that we do. And it's not even something that we do cognizantly. Okay. Just subconsciously. If I see him, hey honey, when we wake up in the morning, good morning, and you get a hug and a kiss and all of that. And those were just normal things that we do every single day, and we don't have to think about it. And it doesn't become old or rote or you know, it's like, man, would you want to kiss again for? No. We're in this thing together.
Yesterday. What that one didn't.
I kissed you once this week already. What more do you want? Exactly. Hey there, Shirley.
Hello.
Thank you for coming in. During this time and period in your life, if you are looking for a mate, we want you to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel for you. We want you to know at the end of the tunnel just for you. We want you to know that no matter what you've gone through, no matter what you're going through right now, no matter what the ghosts of your relationships past look like, that there is a place for you to come back to a relationship, a good, wholesome, because that's what we do sometimes. We get burned, somebody does us dirty, and we're like, that's it, I'm done. We like Potiphar. Now, is it Potiphar? Pilate. I'm washing my hands of everything. But if we would make sure that we're healed, if we would sit down and do the inner work on ourselves, then what happens is we'll set ourselves up to be in the right place at the right time for the right somebody, and we can come together and make this thing a beautiful, beautiful relationship. So again, I'm Pastor Michelle. This is my sweet husband, Pastor G. We are spiritual relationship counselors, veterans of the United States Air Force, your go-to couple for all things relationship. Want you to know you can find us at bit.ly/MM3LINKS. There you'll be able to find some amazing free downloads that's going to help you. One of them is Sex Connect. The other one is the state of the marriage. You can get all of those free. And the one we talked about tonight, 10 things that happy couples do every day. You can get it. It's absolutely free for you to download. You can find our books at the link as well, or go to our page, marriagemakes3.com, and get you a free encounter session. Maybe you're dealing with something. Maybe you're about to get married. Maybe you are moving to the place where you think you may be in that position to say, I'm done. I want a divorce. We want to talk to you because we want to support, encourage you so that you'll be able to have all that belongs to you in the end. All right. So, honey, anything else you want to tell them?
I think that's it. Make sure that if you know of someone who is going through a bad patch in their marriage, going through a breakup, make sure that you tell them about Overcoming Infidelity. That's available at bit.ly/over fidelity.
Over fidelity. Yes, over fidelity.
Almost like
it's at the link. It's at the link. bit.ly/MM3 link. But if you just want the over infidelity, there you'll be able to get the free download where you'll be able to get some things that we have. It's a list that you all can, a checklist that you can go through. You've gone through infidelity. You're saying that we're staying together. What do we do now? Where do we go from here? And that checklist is going to help you. And at the end of it, there should be something there that tells you about our newest book called Overcoming Infidelity. We're talking about healing and restoration, because if you have gone through it, you know it's the hardest thing that you may have ever gone through in your life. But we want you to know that you can go through and get through to the other side. And you have to make some decisions. So don't before you go broadcasting and telling everybody and doing all of that, make sure that you get the book, because it's going to help you to make some decisions, deal with this, and figure out what you're going to do. Because what happens with us is we get really what's the word? We get stressed, we get
Yeah.
tensioned out, we get mad, where our emotions are up and down, it's all over the place. And so what this book is going to do is going to help you to kind of solidify, this is my plan, this is what I want to do, this is what I want, this is what I don't want, and this is how I'm going to go forward from here. So find it at bit.ly/over infidelity. Strategize
right.
first. Amen.
That's right.
Yes.
Body by Jake, really a good physical fitness instructor. Jake used to have a TV program. He'd always say at the close of that program, you must stick to the fight when your heart is hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit.
That's
so if you're tempted to throw in the towel, dry your face off, get up and keep dancing.
Keep dancing.
Dry off with it, get up and keep on
dancing.
If you work with it, it can get better.
Yeah.
All right. We wish the
Amen.
very best for you. If you're a gentleman out there, 26 ways to become a trophy husband is available for you.
Yes,
also. bit.ly/trophy man. bit.ly/trophy man. I believe that it will bless you. It will bless your socks right off. And it's going to make you want to get up and do some dancing. Love you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. We certainly appreciate y'all. And you know what we always say here is that
God loves you.
And you and you and you.
Yeah, and we love you. And ain't a thing you can do about it up
in here. How about that?
Thanks, guys, for being with us.
I love it.
Love you.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for dropping those in the chat, Miss Deirdre. And let's see, was that also someone else? Oh, no, I think it was Miss Deirdre. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Y'all rock. We appreciate you. Don't forget to share and don't forget to follow us here. We'll be back tomorrow night. We'll give you some more of this tomorrow night, okay?
Yeah.
Love you all.
See you then.